guys, 14 hours
14
is no joke.
And then in the middle of a
No
14-hour
joke.
flight, you hear that they are smelling.
I thought I wouldn't sleep, but trust me, I slept.
Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. So if you're new here, please go ahead and subscribe, okay, subscribe and turn on the notification bell. In this video we're going to talk about how to journey to Japan in the middle of a pandemic. So please thumbs up this video and let's get started. So I have two Jamaicans here with me. Please go ahead and introduce yourselves.
I'm Kashara. I am from Hanover.
Country girl.
Yes, and I've been in Japan for about 2.5 months. I came to Japan on the 2nd of January. I am currently living in Yokohama.
Okay, so I'm Monique. I'm from Kingston, Jamaica. I've been here since November 28th. So December, January, February, March. Almost 4 months. Yeah. I live in Kawasaki.
Do you teach at junior high school or elementary?
Okay, so I currently teach at elementary school. Only one school. Very nice school. I like my school.
Is it a big school or small?
Yeah, it's a big school.
Okay.
Very big school.
I am currently teaching at a junior high school. It is not so big. It has 4 first grade, 5 second grade, and 4 third grades.
Okay. So, what BOE? Is it Yokohama BOE?
Yokohama.
Maybe we're in meetings together.
If I meet you next week.
Yeah. How did you feel before moving to Japan? Like the waiting period, because I know that because of the whole corona thing, it was kind of difficult for you to know when you were gonna come to Japan. So how did you feel?
First thing, the plane left us in March. Yeah.
March 2020.
March 2020. So our arrival dates were March 25th. Yeah, I still remember that email that says flight is cancelled. That's a whole different story. But the waiting period was long, very long. For me, I gave up my job. I went through a period of uncertainty. It was very emotional for me, very emotional, because I did my interview February 2019. So that means I was waiting for a year, and then Corona came and surprised us. So I just felt like, hey, was I rushing ahead of time? Was I going against God's will? I don't know. A lot of emotions came and went and came and went and came and went. But here I am.
Yeah. Alright, how about you?
So for me, it was difficult, but it was kind of different from Monique's experience. So I didn't do my interview until November 2019. So it wasn't such a long wait for me until March. However, when March came and I did not get to go, I was very disappointed, mainly because I needed a change from my current job.
That
was my experience. That's why I came here, because I needed a change.
I did not resign my job, however. So I was a teacher in Jamaica, and the period before I was supposed to leave for Japan, school had already moved on to teaching from home. So I did not resign. So I still had a job. So it was not so difficult in that sense. However, as the time progressed and it was very uncertain of when I would get the opportunity to leave, then I started to get depressed, disappointed, angry, and I don't know, very
Yeah.
miserable. I started to send a lot of emails to interact. I'm sorry.
Yeah, but yeah, because you can't put your life on hold. You need to know what is not.
Yeah, that's why I felt actually like I put my life on hold and I just didn't know what's next.
And I spent a lot of money because I am from Hanover. Whenever I am doing anything related to coming to Japan or interact, I had to go to Kingston. So I spent a lot in transportation, plus I had to pay some little fees here and there. And for me, traveling to Kingston, I usually take the Knutsford because some physical challenges kind of prevented me from taking the regular bus.
The physical
She just wants
challenges.
like the luxury.
I'm sick with my back.
Okay.
They want a luxury, okay.
So normally the regular bus them 5 a row and you just sit down so until so when we reach Kingston my back. So I had
Welcome to
take the
Japan.
Yeah.
You squeeze up.
Lightning. There's a lightning a while ago.
Let me see.
Hear the thunder. Oh, so let's talk about the ticket prices. Like how much did you pay for your ticket and stuff like that? And did you buy it by yourself or did you go through the company? Because I heard that the recruiting company they pay for you buy the ticket through them or something like that.
Yeah, but I didn't. However, I had met a girl. Big up yourself, Miss Japan hairstylist. Yes, you. Kayan, yeah. I had met Kayan and we wanted to travel together. So after she booked through the company, I found that flight, book it, get cancelled. But because she booked through the company, I don't know what link or whatever the lady had, so she got them over here. $990 something. It was less than $1,000, and it was because I waited until the last minute. It's a fear and uncertainty. It can hinder you. And cause you. It's true. I waited until the last minute to book the ticket and I ended up paid more than when I initially saw it. Yeah, and I think if I had pushed more I would have been here from March, but no regrets.
So my ticket I did not book with the agency either. I booked by myself. And I used a different airline from what the agency was using too, so my experience was completely different. The fare was $960 something. That was the initial fare. After the flight was cancelled, I did not get a refund. However, we got travel credits and mine was valid for up to 2 years, so I could use it within that 2-year period. Don't know if I would get a refund if 2 years passed and I didn't use it, but yes.
Yeah, same with me. I got a travel credit, but when I was coming in November, because I wasn't sure of what was happening with the airline and the ticket and the third party. Usually you book your tickets through third party. So I had given the recruiter my information, and she had put that ticket on hold on her account. Yeah, I think it was probably like $5 cheaper, so it was $5.
But I ended up paying more to get here because I was supposed to come in January, and then I changed my flight, so the 31st of December, so that ticket cost more.
Like how much more?
Like $100 and something more US. So I ended up paying $1,000 something.
So before you realized that you were supposed to come in December, did you already buy a ticket?
Alright, so after the long wait, I eventually got a date to leave Jamaica the 8th of January. But then this year 2021, then we started getting some information that the Japan borders will be closed the 3rd of January. So the company asked us to move our departure date to the 31st of December, so we would arrive the 2nd of January. So I had to change my ticket because I would have already made arrangement with the company for my ticket to be for the 8th of January. So I had to change it again to the 31st of December. So that that ticket was more expensive.
Okay.
Mr. Japan Prime Minister, you are $100.
I think the company need to compensate me for that, but that's the next.
How was the journey from Jamaica to Japan? Like, what airports did you guys go through, and what was the experience at each airport, and how was it on the airplanes?
NMI, of course, Kingston, Jamaica. Oh, but me take out one bag of things. Listen, gel, curlala for my hair, Suppligen,
Jeez.
tuna, sardine, because I was thinking about quarantine, so I had those little tin stuff. Sausage, yeah, I had to take them out. I was very much overweight, so you know airport business go, and I decided that I can't bring them, well, you're not getting them, and my friends and family, they were outside, so I gave them. Yeah, because with all COVID, they couldn't come in, but because it was a hustle, he let in my friend, and yeah, she helped me sort it out. I think I was the last person to board the plane because I was overweight, very much overweight. I mean, I pick up my life in a 2.5 suitcase. Like it hard. So, but airport was empty. The flight to Miami, it wasn't that packed. There was a girl beside me, very nice girl. Miami, however, was very packed. Like, I couldn't understand why. But I traveled on Thanksgiving, the 26th. Yeah, Thanksgiving 2020. Yeah, and Miami airport was so packed. I was like, oh my god, I'm going to miss the connecting flight. However, like, based on the queue, that the man up the top, he wasn't realizing that the immigration officers down the bottom, they were empty. So the man came through and he pulled away the rope and he was like, come, Merry Christmas. And listen to me, I was the first person. He only asked me like one question, and I went to collect my bag, and then I went to the other area to wait on my flight to New York. The New York JFK airport, it wasn't packed. I got through. I felt so special because when I came through the door and I was approaching the counter, the man was like, Miss, you know, and he called my name, you know, we're waiting on you. I'm like, oh, okay.
Okay.
But I think I was the only person of color on the flight, so yeah. Yeah, so that was good. And I mean,
the black people, them stay home and be safe.
I mean, I no self take up myself, but we're going to Japan.
Across the world.
So yeah, that was good. I mean, I was overweight because I mean I got some stuff in New York, so it's like the overweight just followed me. I was very much overweight. Paid for that, came through. So it was American Airlines all the way to New York, and then Japan Airlines from New York to Japan. So yeah, and in-flight experience was good. I'm not so open-minded when it comes to food, so I was kind of hungry. I mean, they serve lunch and dinner and snack, but yeah, your girl, I only had the ice cream and the juice. Yeah.
So were the airplanes crowded?
No. The flight from Miami to JFK, that was packed. That's the next drama. That was packed. And when I was going through, the man was like, Miss, that cannot hold in the overhead cabinet. And him take it away. Only for ear, my son on the plane ear, my name over the intercom. So Jesus, I'm going to take me for the plane now and send back to Jamaica. Because whenever they don't think so, the bag him a call me for.
Okay.
So when I went to the front of the plane, he was like, oh, I'm going to put your bag up here because the baggage area underneath the plane was already closed.
Okay.
I was like, okay, so yeah. I think there was a man and a woman beside me, then they got up. So I don't remember. I think there was probably somebody to the end. Yeah, but that plane was very packed and noisy. Versus the plane to Japan, it was so quiet. So quiet. But I mean, I was in my head all the time thinking about, you know, just doing that's the whole emotional phase of coming here. So yeah, but it was a good flight. I could have spread out, but I never did said.
Alright.
Because I'm remembering an experience. You said you had a good flight to Japan, and I was remembering an experience.
Oh yeah.
There's a here. Oh, food is here.
My flight, no. I had a flight from Sangspers International Airport in Montego Bay to Newark Airport in New Jersey. I fly United Airlines, so my my first flight from Montego Bay, of course, I was a bit overweight, like 3 pounds in each suitcase. A gentleman at the airport helped me to get out some of the stuff to put in the carry-on, forced them in for me because I couldn't do it. Anyways, the suitcase were still a little bit overweight, like half pound one and 1 pound one. At the counter, the young lady she was telling me that it's overweight, but I pretended like I didn't hear. So I was the last person, so they were hurrying because they wanted me to get through before they closed off. So I am pretending like I don't hear her. I think she just got through to just speed up the process. So I got to New Jersey. No, I was on the plane. That plane, it was a bit crowded. It wasn't full, but it was crowded, and I was a bit surprised because I was expecting more space. So I
And it's January too, like.
yeah. At that point though, America was not requesting any COVID test. So I had to do a COVID test for Japan, but they weren't requiring it for America. So on that plane, I was in a row with 3 persons, but there were a few seats behind me that had like 1 person. So I moved, so 2 persons in a row, so I kind of spread out a bit. Got to Newark. I think I arrived about sometime after 6 in the evening, in the night, because the place got dark. I went through pretty quickly, no long wait, and I stayed over New Year's Eve night. So I saw New Year's in America. The next morning now, I left for Japan. So I arrived at the airport, and the person checking in the persons for Japan, the flight for Japan, they called you to the counter and they asked to see the COVID test results. Oh, so yeah, that was the first time they were checking it. And after that, I went through the TSA and went to board the flight. So I got on the flight, and that flight was empty. It was a very big plane, could hold over 500 persons, but it was very empty. One of the flight attendants told me that it was 4 of us on the flight. I think they had some other persons up at the top in first class, but it wasn't a lot of persons on the flight. The flight was going good. It was going okay. They gave us a lunch and dinner, snack, juice, whatever. They also gave us some little gifts, some extra blankets, some extra pouch with some cream and moisturizer. It was a New Year's Day, because we were traveling on New Year's Day, so it was a New Year's Day gift. Going along, watching movie till I fall asleep, and then a flight attendant passed at one point and asked if we want juice or water. She went up to the top. After she got to the top, then I saw a lot of flight attendants walking around and checking. Normally it's 1 flight attendant, because as I said, it's 4 of us. So I kind of became alarmed now, because I'm wondering, what are they looking for? Somebody came to me and asked if I had anything plugged in, any computer, any electrical thing. I'm like, no. Anyways, they were smelling like something electrical burning. And they were looking for it and couldn't find it. So for the rest of the flight, I was very uneasy, and until the plane landed, they still didn't find what was it. They even asked us to move because they were smelling it in the area that we were sitting. So it was the flight for me that kind of.
So when they asked you how long, like how many hours?
We had about 5 hours or more.
Mid-flight and
about 5 hours or more left in the flight. Until from that point on, I am checking the time every few minutes, I'm checking the time. Until I see 2 hours, I'm like, okay, we got through a couple of the hours. Then I see 1 hour, and then they said that they soon land, and I'm like, praise be to God.
Yeah.
Guys, 14 hours
14
is no joke.
And then in the middle of a
No
14-hour
joke.
flight, you hear that they are
No
smelling.
joke. I thought I wouldn't sleep, but trust me, I slept. I
But
slept. You
And
stretch
you had to
out.
use the bathroom and stuff like
That's
that.
the thing, because I'm like a little germophobia, so I'm like, okay, I won't be using the bathroom 3 times. 3 times I got up.
Just to get into my sleep, because I read a book, then I watch something, then I listen to music, and then I say, no, let's just sleep.
Yeah, and the time.
Just
not
I get
going.
in my sleep.
I mean, I
And the
tried
people
watching
are
something,
calm.
but I don't know. My mind, it just wasn't allowing me to. So like I played the movie, but like the movie just wasn't grabbing my attention. I tried sleeping, I stretch out, I do everything, and it was like, ooh, and then you have no phone, nobody to talk to, no nothing.
After I
Rough.
try to sleep, and then the sleep couldn't bother going, because you're there and you're fret and you look and you see they even come, you see persons that walk around and I check. And then after that, now you say, alright, no sleeping, not going to take place now. So you decide to watch something on the, then it turn off. And you wonder, okay. And then they say, oh, it's a pilot, turn it off because they don't know what is happening. So they decide to turn it off. That was an experience.
I'm glad you made it to Japan safely.
Yeah, you made it.
I've traveled so many times, and that incident chose to happen when I was on the long flight.
As it relates to the COVID test now, where in Jamaica and how much did you pay to do it?
So the thing about the COVID test is it has to be done within 72 hours before you board the flight to Japan. So because I am traveling the Thursday from Jamaica, I will be in America and I won't leave for Japan until the Friday. So the earliest I could have done the COVID test was the Wednesday or the Tuesday evening. I don't remember. The Wednesday. So I did the COVID test the Wednesday and I traveled the Thursday. I had to go to Kingston to do it. There are places in Montego Bay that did it at that time, but I would not have gotten back the results in time to travel. So I would have to do it like 2 days before, and then that would be over the 72 hours. So I had to go to Kingston. And I paid about $25,000.
Wow.
I paid to do the test.
Because I was determined to go to New York, I did my test. First of all, the company is going to let you book the test through them. At the time, they were using a particular lab. That lab wasn't. The timing of the results and the testing wasn't working out for me and the flight that I had. So lucky enough, my friend went somewhere and saw that they were doing the PCR test and contacted them, let the recruiter know that, hey, this is what I'm going to do, XYZ. She contacted the person too and work it out. And I did my test the Tuesday. My flight was the Thursday. I didn't wait too long to get back the result. Actually, I think I got back the result the late evening.
Me too.
That's when I cried, because I was like, oh my god, the result is negative, so that means I'm really going. Yeah, I think that's when it really something.
So you cried because the result is negative?
Well, the negative result means that I'm going. Yeah.
I was a bit nervous because I'm saying I started packing, because I am going to be on the road all day from Hanover to Kingston, up and down. I'm not going to get back home until in the night and I leave the next day. What if I go through all of this process, pack up, do everything, and then COVID result says positive? That is another disappointment.
And you were ill
again.
You were ill.
Yeah, I was having I was a bit sick. And we had to do the PCR test because they had other places that could have done the rapid test. They got it back in like 15 minutes, but those were the antigen tests and they wanted PCR.
What is PCR?
You can look it up on YouTube.
I don't know.
Google.
You guys keep saying
Google.
PCR.
So
I don't know.
I think that it's some something chain reaction. So just put in PCR test and you'll see it. It's a PCR is the acronym, so you'll see what it stands
Because
for.
I said that one is more
It's more accurate.
Yeah.
I mean, and then for the test, it wasn't bad, but I think one of my nostrils was probably irritated, so I only felt discomfort in one.
Also,
It
they
was
took
very
two both of
uncomfortable.
Yeah,
them.
man,
for
it's
me.
two, and then and the swab, I was saying to her, because when she did the first one, I was like, "You finished?" She said, "Yeah." And the swab, that trust me, God, big up you, big up yourself. Because my swab, it was very short. So I was saying to her, why persons complain about the feeling like the swab touching their brains? She said, because you have some long swabs.
Yes.
So my swab was very short, and she just,
I used the short
And
one
then-
too,
but I think something was wrong with
A
this
spin.
nostril.
Uncomfortable, man.
I paid in US, so I paid 150 US.
The lab that I did the test with, they didn't have a doctor to
Oh yeah, same
certify
thing.
the
I think we use the
result.
same lab.
Yeah. So after I got the result, then they had to send it to our doctor to sign the form that we got from the Japan embassy. So
Yeah.
my 25,000 included the doctor's fee. So the company arranged for it to be sent to the doctor and the doctor sign and stamp. So the 25 included.
Yeah, I had to
doctor's
find
fee.
a doctor too. It was like $2,000. Yeah.
So for the airport experience, how was it? Do you think that they made any extra precautions because of Corona?
So of course, mask and all of that, social distance, especially in the seating area. So I'm trying to run through my head what happened. Came off the plane, went onto a shuttle bus, came to an area in the airport. We were seated. I guess you were seated based on the flight that you came in on. Then you go to an area, one by one. There were a lot of stickers and all of that on the floor, and hand over your documentation. Oh, on the plane, you got a whole lot of documents. You got a whole lot of documents that you need to fill out. You hand over some of those. I think they check for the result first. Yeah, they check for the result first. Then you go and do a spit test. So they'll tell you that the tube needs that was gross, but they'll tell you that the tube, it needs to be filled to a certain area and all of that, and you go to like a cubicle and you perform it there, and you throw away the thing, I don't remember what it's called right now, and then you hand over. Yeah, you hand over. It's labeled because at the table where you hand over your test, you receive a number, so it's labeled there. Then you walk.
That was in the Japan airport?
Japan
Yes.
airport.
What was the spit test for?
It's a corona test,
Oh, okay.
but it's not a swab. Praise God, it wasn't a swab.
Wait, that's spit.
It's a spit test.
That reminds me of every year we have to do an interact test, a drug test, and it's this thing that you have to push in your mouth, and like you put your saliva on it.
But this one is different because you
This
have
one
to
is
spit
spit.
in it too.
So I hope this doesn't gross out anyone, but on the plane, like I remember, so I kind of hold back some stuff for the tests. Yeah, that was so gross. 'Cause you just really want to be free, and if your mouth dry, you're gonna be in there for the whole time because it needs to be filled to a certain area.
So you could see other people.
No. You
Oh,
were
it's
in
only you.
cubicles.
Okay.
Yeah. You were in cubicles. You pass it. You finish. You rest it on a tape. I don't think nobody touched it. Well, nobody took it from me. I think you rest it down, and it's like a test tube.
Yeah,
It's a little
test
container,
tube.
and it has a number that's attached to you. You finish the test, then you go to waiting area to hear on your number. Yes, you went to hear on your number. Why I couldn't hear my number? I said, Jesus and peace, then what happened, man? Apparently, I think probably I missed the number because when I saw one of the lady and I asked her, she told me to come and got the results. Then you went to another area.
Your number was in Japanese?
No.
Okay.
But they said it both in Japanese and English over the intercom.
Okay.
I hand over all the documents them to this other area again. Then you wait again. Then you move on to regular processing like immigration. Funny enough, when I went to the immigration, I mean, it's the first time, it's new. I there was somebody that came before me, and you know, she passed on a lot of information that she could, but I never know say I needed to go into a room. So that was when I was waiting on the residence card. So I went into the room, my Lord Jesus, so what kind of interrogation room this the people don't put me in but it was just to wait on the residence card, and then come give me the residence card. Then a long walking, guys. I was so tired. Trust me, I wouldn't want to relive the experience again because of how exhausted and how tired I was. I was so tired that the thing I had on this cardigan, and the string in the cardigan got caught in the escalator. And if you know anything about Japanese, I'm full of excitement. One piece of running around that would stop the escalator. And by this time I was over it. I was over the suitcase. My carry-on, it had on 2 wheels. And you know, carry-on now make with 4 wheels. I mean, I drag where everybody are. Listen to my man. I said, God, give up. I'm tired. It's like I was so tired when I finished all that processing, because it's the bulk of it is just the old corona stuff. When you go and they ensure that you go to, after you get results and you go to that window there with a whole lot of paper and get some whole lot of paper again. It's just to ensure that you're in a quarantine hotel, test is negative, and just basically to check all the paperwork that you received previously and the one that they gave to you. And then when I went downstairs, I was emailing the company because they were 2 persons from England, I think, came in. Yeah, 2 persons from England came in.
So where did you get Wi-Fi from? The airport Wi-Fi?
Airport Wi-Fi.
Okay.
Yes, I was emailing them, say, hey, I'm here, I'm at this step in the process, all of that. So when I reached downstairs, I don't know. I was hungry, I was tired, I felt dirty. I was just so exhausted. I've never felt like that in my life before. Me just never, when I go and my 2 suitcases them alone there, so me would have everybody else get through and leave me alone. Because as I said, I was waiting a while for my number to be called. And then I started realizing that, hey, the persons on my flight, they're no longer here. Some new set of people are coming in.
Alright guys, so this is part 1 of the video. Stay tuned for part 2
of traveling to Japan from Jamaica during a pandemic.